I'm going to very quickly go through the 7 ways to write an introduction. All right, first we have the funnel method, and just like a funnel, you start very large and general, maybe talking about the world in general, and then you get more and more specific. Okay, maybe you talk about general migration, what migration is. Then you start to give examples of reasons why people migrate, and then you start to talk about maybe the book, why Reina Grande and her family migrated. So it starts general and then gets more and more specific until you reach the topic of your paper. Anecdote is just a fancy way to say story. You're telling a story. So you're telling a personal story from your own life, a story about someone you know, a story about a character from the book. It's just you're telling an interesting story to get the reader's attention. Statistic is very simple. You just use an interesting statistic that has to do with your topic. It could be a statistic, an example, a fact that gets your readers interested. A quotation, same thing with quotation. A quote from an article or a book that is really interesting and is about your topic. Okay, a question. I usually tell you guys not to use questions in your papers, but it is okay to use a question in your introduction paragraph as long as it is not a simple question. Okay, it has to be a question that promotes deep thinking. All right. Setting the scene is just describing something. You're describing something so that your reader can experience it. You're describing something that happened. You're describing a place. You're describing a thing. A definition is one that we've practiced actually already. And you just pick an important word that has to do with the topic of your paper, and you define it. You give a definition of this word in your own words, or if you copy this definition from a dictionary, make sure you put it into quotes. Okay? I know that this presentation that is online in week 7 is a little confusing. I have gone through and I have labeled the types of introductions these examples. But I do recommend going to your pink packet and looking, starting on page 34, and look through the examples in your pink packet as well.